What's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my final Q&A video leading up to The Walking Dead Season 5, Episode 6, Consumed. And as always, my videos do contain spoilers. This one's going to contain spoilers if you're not caught up on the Walking Dead TV series, but also the comic book series. So if you're not really caught up on the comic book series and you intend to read it, I'm going to give away some things about a particular group of villains in the comic book series that you may or may not want to know. So warning for that. The topic of this video, and we're going to be talking about, this one's from Kody Leeman, as well as some other people too. Don't want to just say he's the only one. Other people have asked this question too. And finally getting around to doing it, going to be giving my thoughts on the situation about Morgan and what he said back in episode, I believe it's 13 of Season 3. I'd have to look it up exactly, but that's Clear. So if you guys can think back now to Season 3, Clear's the episode where Rick goes to visit Morgan, get some supplies from him to be able to fight against the governor, get some, ammunition and weapons and things like that. Here's the question from Kody. He says, hey, Trev, I have a possible discussion topic regarding Morgan. Back in Clear, Morgan was talking to Rick about people wearing dead people's faces. Do you think that this is a reference to the Leatherfaces and maybe Morgan had an encounter with them which caused his craziness? Okay, so I want to give my thoughts on this one. Now, to give you guys some idea, if you haven't read the comic book series, there's a group in The Walking Dead called the Whisperers. I call them Leatherfaces. Kirkman doesn't like it. According to issue 134 on the Leather Hacks, he does not like our nickname for them. But I think it makes sense. So you have survivors that wear the carcass of zombies in order to have true camouflage and blend in with them so that zombies no longer attack them. And then they can also blend in and have camouflage against other survivors, because survivors, when they see them, will just think they're random zombies and not realize that one of them could be carrying a shotgun. Another one, will have, a big butcher knife or something hidden, and then will come out after them and go to stab them, or they'll go up to kill a walker just like normal, and then, the Leatherface or the person, the Whisperer, will actually dodge what they're doing and stab them or something. And of course, it's a great initiation, because that person will have no idea that they're approaching a survivor and, thinking it's a zombie. So this group is very fearsome, very intelligent, and very twisted to do that, to wear the flesh of zombies. That's pretty nasty. We've seen something like it in the TV series so far with the guts trick with Rick and Carol doing the same thing with Terminus, but we have not seen something to this degree where people are literally going to wear the flesh of zombies in order to have true camouflage permanently. They do it all the time. That's how they live, right? So this episode, I believe Clear, was written by Scott Gimple, who is now the showrunner of the series, and he works very closely with Robert Kirkman. Is it possible that Robert Kirkman got the idea of this group from Scott? It's entirely possible. Now, here's the thing. When Morgan was talking to Rick about people wearing dead people's faces, he thought Rick was actually a person wearing someone else's face. Now, that to me sounds like craziness, right? Because he's viewing someone who is alive, who is whatever. It's not like Rick was dressed as a zombie, right? Rick was just dressed as Rick. It was the normal Rick, right? So it wouldn't make sense that he would think that he thought that someone else was wearing Rick's face. That wouldn't make sense, right? That wouldn't add up. That wouldn't connect. But is it possible that he had a run-in with this group named the Whisperers, and maybe from a rooftop or something overheard them or saw them or something like that? It's very possible. It does make some sense, because I always wondered what he was talking about when he was saying like dead or people wearing dead people's faces, this kind of thing. Just a weird thing to say, even if you're a crazy person, like denying that he exists, or just a craziness. So I don't know how Robert Kirkman came up with the idea for the Leatherfaces or for the Whisperers. I don't know where it came from, but that's certainly, if he thought about that at all, that might bring up an idea and have him go forward with it. I don't know if there's any connection, but I really like the idea, and I think it'd be cool if Morgan had some kind of interaction or face-off, or maybe he just hid from these people as they were passing through. Or maybe lit a few of them up and the rest ran away or something because he had so much firepower and had the booby traps and all that. Obviously, he set up the booby traps for a reason. We know he's had encounters with groups, and that maybe he was traumatized by what he saw from them. So maybe it was a group like them that maybe not necessarily been the same one, but people that have been doing the same thing, because he had booby traps everywhere all over the place. So we are to understand that he went through some shit by himself. In order for him to survive, he created this whole thing because he had encountered some people that were pretty nasty. So could he have encountered the Whisperers or the people like this? Yeah, definitely. I would say so. And maybe that part of him saying that was just him being in some kind of not trusting his own sanity anymore, thinking he was just nuts because these people that had been wearing zombie carcasses had actually come through, and he had encountered them in some way and either heard them talking or something, or who knows, and it just kind of drove him mad, or being alone by himself had driven him mad. I guess we'll have to see in the long run. What ideally, what I would like to see, I'd like to see Lenny James become a season regular character. I'd like to see him become a Daryl, or just like a Rick, where he's a character that we can focus on a lot, but he's kind of got a slant to him. He's kind of got that craziness in him and that ruthlessness, right? I'd like to see that. And then maybe if he's around long enough, rather than, well, I don't want to get into spoilers, but if he's around and by the time the Leatherfaces come in the TV series, because we know the version's different, that'd be cool if he had an understanding of what they were doing and had encountered them before. I just think that would be great. So it's definitely an idea. It's definitely out there now that we're talking about it and everything. People are talking about it on the web. I would love to see something like that happen. Like him having encountered these people, being with Rick's group for years and years, and then eventually when they come into the series, maybe in season 8, 9, or 10, or probably 9 or 10 or 11 even, if they don't count the time skip, it could even be season 12 or 13 or something. If Morgan was still in the show at that point, that would be really, really cool. Really cool, I think. So, or maybe if he shows, or maybe if he uses a technique himself at some time, I don't know. It'd just be really interesting. So I hope we get to see more of Lenny James. I hope he's a character that when they bring him back as a regular. They use him almost every episode, and he's just in the capacity of Andrew Lincoln's Rick Grimes, or Daryl, or any of these other characters that are near the top in terms of getting a lot of focus on the show, Glenn, or some of the others like that. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, but it's a stretch, unfortunately, to speak 100% realistically. We can't say he's probably just crazy and not knowing what he was seeing and thinking that, just going nuts. But I do think it's possible that could be induced by, we know he ran into some groups. We know that. So, it's kind of with me, I would like it to be that way, but we don't have enough to say for sure yet that it is. We'd have to go with no until proven yes, right? So, but it's a great thought and great comment, great suggestion to you guys, not just Kody, but others who had suggested that one previously. Sometimes someone posts an idea out there, and then people see it, and then they kind of run with it, that type of thing, right? And then they let each other know, other people hear about it, and then eventually I hear about it a couple times till I make a video on it. So we'll continue with the rest of the Q&A questions. I'll try to get through as many as I can, because, of course, the episode's tonight, so I won't have any more time to get through these questions before it airs. Next one's from Smax Lab, and here she says, what are your top 5 episodes that don't feature Rick? So I did the video this week talking about Rick being missing and how they, a lot of the episodes haven't been the best without him, because he is an awesome character. He's, our lead Walking Dead character, of course. So top 5, I'd have to go through and compare, but I thought the Governor episodes in Season 4 were great. Season 3 had another good Governor episode there, and I think there was a number of others that have Rick in them too, I think. It's hard to tell, because sometimes he's just in it for a quick minute, and then he's, and then he isn't. But I definitely think the show is better when he's in the episodes for some reason. And he's an awesome character, but it's like every time something major happens, Rick is obviously there. So all the great episodes have him in it, basically. The ones that don't feature him, there might only be 5 to 10 episodes that don't feature him, so counting down a top 5 doesn't really make sense. But I'm of the opinion having Rick around is awesome, and a lot of the episodes he's in are the best we've ever had. So, he's our lead character, of course, so they would be. So he's great. And the top 5, I don't know. They most of the episodes he's not in are really not all that great anyway. So yeah. Next one's from MegaWardinator, and he or she asks, if Abraham's group head back to the church, how do you think the group will find Alexandria? Well, I think it might be a connection with Noah, or maybe it will be that when Abraham's group gets back there, Rick's group is either no longer there or something like that, and then Abraham's group either goes out looking for them or heads to Alexandria because that was what was on the map, and they figured, they must have gone there. I guess now we have to go and look for them, right? That type of thing. Maybe Noah knows somebody from there, and that will be why they head there. So hopefully the groups will find each other again. I'm sure they will for the show. They kind of always seem to find each other again eventually anyway, right? Next one is, except for the Morales family, and we'll have to wait and see if they come back, or if that was just the actor trying to build up some hype for himself, maybe get the people involved to bring him back, which they should anyway. Yeah, so, all right, so let's see. Next question will be from Lena Kr, K-R. And she says, hey, Trev, I'd like to hear your thoughts on the following question. Who or what do you think Daryl is burning in the sneak peek? So this is for Consumed. Yeah, that's a good question. You see the body in white. My understanding is it's somebody that was probably in, like they were cleaning out a part where they were going to sleep or something, or they were going to hold up for it. I think that's the idea, that it's not an important person. It's just like some random person. I definitely don't think it's Beth or somebody like that. Definitely not. No, that doesn't make sense in terms of timing or anything. So that's what I'm thinking, but there's no way to know for sure, but I think it's just some random body that they're burning. I don't think it really has much significance at this time. Next one's from Hunter, and he says, hey, Trev, what are the top 3 story arcs or scenes from the comics that you're most looking forward to seeing in the television series? Oh, man, that's such a loaded question. I'd have to look at all the ones coming up and count down which ones are the best. But just to give you some ideas, All Out War has to be in there. Has to be, man. Amazing stuff, All Out War. And then what's going on right now, this current story arc with the Leatherfaces or the Whisperers. I can't wait to see that in the TV series, man. That would be incredible. And then, of course, the introduction of Negan, man. That will be just amazing, man. I just can't wait to see that. So, yeah. Next one's from... I put this in there as a gag. You Mutt Ken Lives, and he says, why is Maggie so hot? My heart beats like an African on drums every time I see her. I'm not even going to answer that. I just put that in to embarrass you, to tell you the truth. So if you're watching this, write a comment below on how you feel about that. What a ridiculous comment. How am I supposed to know why she, what kind of question is that, man? I don't know. Don't ask me. Ask somebody who studies, I don't know, attraction or something. I don't know. So stupid. What a question. Some of the questions I get are just ridiculous. Yeah. Okay. This one's from T. Gilley, and he says, what's your thoughts on the longevity of the show remaining accurate to the comics? This season has been superb so far in terms of staying loyal. However, with the addition of the best story arc, I'm a bit worried for the future of the show. It seems like every now and then the writers add in new location or group that's exclusive to the show. Example, Vato's Terminus, the hospital. Are you worried that eventually around the time Negan is introduced, a lot of the most important story arcs and events from the comics may be completely skipped because the writers will get to a point in the story where they have to follow more comic book-y-esque concepts that could be potentially difficult adapting onto television? I'm mainly referring to the All Out War story arc. Well, I think they can do All Out War just the same as they did the prison stuff with Woodbury. I mean, they'll just have to do it their own way. They'll have to switch out characters. They'll have to change things. And that's it. If they did the Terminus stuff with how dark and scary that was, I'm sure they can do pretty much anything in All Out War and it'll be fine. Yeah, definitely. Because if you look at the premiere, that was such a dark episode of Season 5. One of the scariest we've ever had, like Baby Judith in jeopardy and chainsaws going off and people getting their heads just smashed around with baseball bats and, cut and blood squirting everywhere. If they can do that, they can do anything else. So that's not a problem. My thoughts in terms of the addition of the story arcs. Well, I mean, I like them, man. I like all the story arcs they've added on. I like Daryl. I like Merle, because remember, those are added, right? Those are added, and we think of them as like part of the Walking Dead now. You think of the Walking Dead, you think of like Rick, Daryl will be up there. Merle also be an important character. Shane, the others. A lot of these are TV show add-ons. If you look at my figures up here at the top, all of them are the TV show versions of the 1/6 scale bigger ones. And it's just because they do such an awesome job of bringing out the characters. And because they're killing different characters at different times and different things are happening, it's not filler. It's a new adaptation of the Walking Dead story that's faithful to the story in that it translates over that spontaneity that you don't know what's going to happen. Something could just happen all of a sudden. Character could be killed off, and you wouldn't even expect it, like with Andrea in season 3. So they are staying true to it in that capacity, and also these extra story arcs they're adding in, I think, have just improved the show. That's what I think, because rather than getting 6 or 10 episodes of let's say we got 10 episodes of the exact same story that's in the comic books. Well, it would take a lot away from the excitement of the show. Because we would all know, okay, this is what's going to happen, and then this, and then that, and then this. And if you just read the comic books, you already have kind of like a visual representation, like a storyboard of how it all plays out. It wouldn't be nearly as exciting as because they're adding in these new things. We don't know what to expect. As much as we try to break it down, unless we're looking at actual spoilers from people who are involved with filming or near the locations and stuff, we really have no idea. We have to kind of break it down and do predictions, and that's fun. Like if you look at the prediction videos I do, a lot of them people are even more interested than the reviews, right? So adding in all these extra story arcs and all these extra things, it just makes it even better, man. It's just because we're getting all the same stuff, but then we're getting additional good quality stories, right? Like, look at Terminus. I thought Terminus was really, really cool. Rather than them just being the hunters, having this whole Terminus storyline, I thought was really awesome. Aside from the groups at the beginning all heading towards there and have it being so slow with so much slow time, once we actually got to Terminus, wow, what a great addition. It was really, really cool. I liked what they did with the governor. I liked all the additional story arcs they've added on so far. I'm excited for the hospital and what's going to happen with Dawn and the others. It's just every one they've added, I think, has been great. So next one's from Mub913. Did, in your opinion, Abraham kill Eugene? He hit him so hard. No, I believe he's concussed. I believe he's had a concussion and his brain got rattled against the what was that, like a truck or whatever it was behind. Boom. And then when he went down, he was already unconscious because he hit him so hard. So it's kind of funny. It was just a funny scene, and he did deserve it, and he talked. He was talking too. He shouldn't have talked. He shouldn't have said he was smarter or anything like that. That was not appropriate, and he was asking for it, and there's no one there that's going to stop Abraham. He's too big. He's too strong. Glenn can't hold him back for very long. I mean, he can get in his way and slow him down a bit, but if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. If he's going to hit Eugene, Eugene's probably getting hit, especially if he just stands there with his mullet like this. Boom. Hitting the jaw, the head, or whatever, just rattles the brain inside the skull. Concussion, yeah, for sure. Okay, I know I haven't gotten everybody's question, but I should wrap it up because I've done like 60 minutes and 2 days of Q&As. So it's the best I can do for you guys. Next one's from Legend Louie. Says, hey Trev, just a theory here. Do you think that Tara has developed feelings for Glenn or Maggie? She is constantly with them too, and she seems to have a weird presence when she is, as if she's hiding something. It would make more sense for her to fancy Maggie as she's a lesbian, but she could have developed feelings for Glenn as he saved her. Interesting to know what your thoughts are on this one. Well, she did sneak a peek of Rosita and Abraham. Now, who was she sneaking a peek of? I don't know. Or maybe she was just checking to see. It's kind of one of those things like you just want to see if it's actually happening. Like was Eugene actually watching them bang, and are they really just banging right over there? That type of deal, which is kind of funny. I just think that she's got a close bond with them because Glenn was the one who kind of she probably views it as she'd be dead without him, so he did save her. So I think that I think that. I mean, her and Maggie don't really seem to me like they have any kind of we haven't seen any kind of attraction scenes or anything like that. So I don't think that's where they're going with it. I think she just appreciates Glenn because he he saved her. He talked her into, trying to live and fighting their way through when he didn't need to. He did it just because, well, I guess he kind of did. He said he needed her help to get out of there. But, and I guess she did help out and she was beneficial. But, at the same time, he saved her because she would have just died in there. That's all there is to it. So, yeah. The last one I'll do, will be the last one, is from Lask, and he says, "Hi Trev, two-handed Merle versus Abraham, who wins?" So really, really tough one. Merle versus Abraham, two-handed. I actually think Merle is more dangerous with his blade hand, to tell you the truth. So let's go blade-handed Merle. Now, do they have firearms or not? Because Merle killed like 26 people. So even though Abraham's killed a good number of survivors, I'm sure he's killed a good number. I'm pretty sure he probably hasn't killed 26. That's a lot of survivors. Merle was just like he was a killer, dude. 26 people in the zombie apocalypse. Crazy kill count. That's like the highest we've seen so far of anybody, I think. So, and obviously we saw what he was able to do against the governor and his men. So I'm going to go with Merle against Abraham. I just think that if they have their firearms with them, Merle's going to take him down. Now, if it's a one-on-one fist fight and Merle has his blade hand, I'm still going to go with Merle, I think. I think he's going to, Abraham's big. He's probably not that fast. He's probably not that good at evading. And I think that Merle, with how creative he was with the blade and everything, would probably stick him pretty quick. So if it was two-handed, one-on-one, no weapons, then yeah, I'd probably go with Abraham. But I think that Merle is just the evolution of him, throughout the series in season 3, man, what a fearsome character he became. Like what we got to see him against Michonne, where she takes a sword against him and he'll use, the dagger and the blade hand, and he, gets it away from her and is tracking her and everything. Yeah, he's a badass MFer, man. I'd have to go with Merle over Abraham for sure. Definitely. Okay, so I'll call it here for this one, guys. I want to apologize if I didn't get to your question. Did the best I could. Answered 60 minutes worth of questions, as many as I could. And yeah, of course, for tonight, excited for the episode. Should be another solid one. Walking Dead Season 5, Episode 6, Consumed. Of course, you guys already know the review will be posted as soon as I get it done. Top 5 video and predictions for the following week. And then this week coming up, we'll do probably 3 more Q&As. So send me your questions if you guys have them after watching the episode tonight. Or you can just send me any questions you have. If they're good questions or theories or whatever, then I'll go ahead and turn them into videos. So let me know what you guys think about all of that. And as always, appreciate your guys' support. You know what to do. I don't even need to say it. Please thumb it up. Please share it. Please favorite it. And yeah, that's it for this one, guys. See you tonight. As always, it's Trev. I'm saying peace.